You are Locked On Warriors Postcast, part of Locked On Sports San Francisco on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Yo, what's up, everyone, and welcome back to the Locked On Warriors Postcast. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel. You may know me as the former producer for the Murph and Mac Morning Show on KMBR, or maybe from some of these other Locked On Sports Network postcasts we also do the Locked On Giants and the Locked On 49ers postcast as well. But tonight, man, it went down to the wire, but the Warriors survive and advance. They pulled out the win over the Memphis Grizzlies and finally survived the play-in tournament to advance to the NBA playoffs. Curry completely took over in that fourth quarter, carried the Warriors to their first ever win in the play-in tournament. Curry had 15 points alone in that fourth quarter, and Jimmy Butler also took over for stretches of this game, including during that second quarter especially, and led the team with 38 points. The Warriors will now play the Houston Rockets in the first round of the NBA playoffs. But first, we'll break down everything from this game. We'll break it all down, but I want to thank all of you for watching us on the Locked On Sports San Francisco YouTube channel. Please, if you aren't already subscribed, hit that subscribe button right now. Thanks also for listening on the Locked On Warriors podcast feed and making us your first listen following these Dubs games. And make sure to check out the Locked On Warriors Daily Show for more in-depth coverage. This one, my God, this game was so sweaty coming down the wire. And the Warriors, I mean, we have to mention it. They had a 20-point lead at one point in this game that was about midway through the second quarter. And just slowly, the Grizzlies kept methodically getting back into this one. They went on a massive run there in that third quarter where the Warriors just couldn't stop anything the Grizzlies were doing offensively. The Grizzlies shot 63% from the field in that third quarter. It was very tough sledding for the Warriors as they let the Grizzlies just slowly climb back in this game. And that was even after Ja Morant came down on Buddy Hield's foot and rolled his ankle. It didn't matter. Grizzlies still kept clawing their way back. But, I mean, I hate leading off the show talking about officiating, but I feel like we absolutely cannot ignore what the hell we just watched out there tonight. I am beside myself for the lack of calls that Steph Curry gets. I mean, he is just getting absolutely mugged by Scottie Pippen Jr. while he's trying to run off screens off the ball. And Scottie Pippen Jr. is, I mean, like two arms hugging him while Steph's trying to run, and no one is calling this foul, I mean, like at all during this game. Scottie Pippen Jr. probably should have fouled out at about halftime in this one, but instead they waited until like the last 5 minutes to call that final foul on Scottie. But it just massive swings in momentum in this game because of the officiating in this one. I mean, Zach Edey should have been called for an offensive foul when he grabbed Draymond's shoulder and pulled him down with about 6 minutes to play. They even went to replay review and they still called the foul on Draymond. Just absolutely just dog water officiating tonight, just complete trash. I have never seen a game officiated this poorly in the playoffs. I know you want to let them play, but my God, this was inconsistent, horrible officiating. And with about 14.3 to go, they call a foul on Kevon Looney for doing absolutely nothing, for jumping up to try and grab a rebound. And Zach Edey and him kind of run into each other a little bit, like their elbows bump. But Edey is going into Looney just as much as Looney was going into Edey. That could have been a huge turning point in this game. Edey got free throws out of that with 14.3 to go, made it a 1-point game. But thank God the Warriors have Stephen Curry. He iced it with those 15 points, 4 of them coming from the free throw line at the end of this one, and Steph just would not be denied. A ton of huge threes from Steph in the last couple minutes of this one, and man, he really put the team on his shoulders in the way that he normally does during these championship runs. It was incredible to see Steph doing this at 37 years old. Like we have to continue to talk about the age of Steph while he's doing this. Like there are so few players in all of sports that at that age can continue to perform at this high of a level. Steph Curry is otherworldly talented. This man is probably going to be forever the greatest player to ever put on a Golden State Warriors uniform. I don't think that there will ever be somebody greater than Steph as a Golden State Warrior. Like, this feels like the pinnacle of anything that ever could happen on a basketball court for the Warriors. Not the win tonight specifically, but just Steph himself. It's just a marvel to watch out there. He's an artist. We've heard every announcer that's called a Warriors game this year has called Steph an artist. And that's true. This guy is just absolutely unreal. Finishes with 37 points, 8 rebounds for Steph Curry to lead the Warriors in rebounding as a point guard. He had 4 assists, 6 of 13 from three-point land, and he also had 13 free throws, 13 of 13 from the line. Let's just go ahead and do it right now. We're going to give Steph Curry, no-brainer, the player of the game.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
And Steph, man, played 39 minutes as well in this one. Steph was just running people ragged out there. There was a play where in the second half where he dribbled the ball up court, went to the left wing, tried to come off a screen and go up for a shot, couldn't quite get there. So he drove baseline instead, dished off the ball to someone inside. I forget who it was, but then Steph just kept running, ran off another screen out into the corner on the right side of the court, gets the ball and just immediately throws it up, and it somehow is cashed. And he had a hand right in his face. And I mean, Steph, just a marvel to watch. There are multiple times where he got fouled shooting threes tonight, was not called ever. I mean, I think he got one of them tonight. It's just complete trash officiating. This was horrible officiating. Cannot wait to read this 2-minute report. I mean, I know it's not going to cover the entire game, but man, it just horrible. I'm beside myself with how inconsistent these calls were tonight. But the Warriors somehow got it done. And Jimmy Butler also contributed. I mean, playoff Jimmy has arrived. I mean, we've got to call him play-in Jimmy now from this point forward, because dude had 38 points, led the Warriors in scoring, and for big stretches of this game, Jimmy completely took over on both sides of the ball. He had 3 steals in this one. He had 10 assists. He had 6 assists and 7 rebounds. He was just doing everything for the Warriors, and he was 12 of 18 from the free throw line. 6 missed free throws, a little uncharacteristic of Jimmy Butler. So, but all that means to me is that that's probably not going to happen again in this postseason. And Jimmy already had 38 points tonight. So he has the potential to be even better than he was tonight. He kind of seemed to fizzle out a little bit at the end. I'm sure that he was kind of just, making way for Steph to do his thing, because when Steph's as hot as he was in the end of this fourth quarter, specifically the last 6 or 7 minutes, you just get Steph the ball and get out of the way. Man, what a great game from Steph and Jimmy. But they also had help from the role players tonight, which was a big deal. And maybe not as much help as you'd want from Brandon Podziemski, from Moses Moody, who combined for 12 points. They were just 5 of 14 from the floor together. So that was a little not what we thought the Warriors. I thought they were going to need more from those two guys to pull this one out, but they got it from other places. GP2. Let's start with him. Gary Payton II, 5 of 10 from the field, 2 of 6 from the three-point line. Threes aren't usually his game, but when he's wide open, he's got to take them. Made a couple tonight, so credit GP2 for doing that. He had 12 points off the bench to lead the bench scoring for the Warriors and played some great defense. He had a block on Zach Edey, who's like 1.5 feet taller than him. And Quentin Post also 22 minutes, 4 of 5 from the field, 3 of 4 from three-point land, and he was stroking it in that first half. He really helped ignite that Warriors run in the first half to push that lead up to 20. He had 5 boards, couple assists, and he really played great defense tonight on Zach Edey, a bigger defender. He was, working hard to try and push Edey out of that paint to get rebounds, clear the way for other people to sneak in there and get boards. A lot of those Steph rebounds were because Quentin Post was walling off Zach Edey. So phenomenal effort from everybody on this team tonight. Draymond also impacted the game defensively and also with his 10 assists and 6 rebounds. He only went 1 for 5 shooting from the field, 4 points for Draymond, but 3 steals, a block. He was everywhere, and he and Quentin Post led the Warriors in plus minus with a plus 12 for both of them. So Draymond did get into foul trouble, did ultimately foul out in this one. You saw he was heated when he got called for that final foul, but he probably shouldn't have been called for that foul with about 6 minutes left when Zach Edey grabbed his shoulder and pulled him down into his body. I'm pretty sure that's an offensive foul any other time. But for some reason today, it was the foul on Draymond Green. I feel like if it's anybody but Draymond Green involved in that, it's clearly an offensive foul. But because it's Draymond Green, it could go either way. It's a reputation foul that he got there, I feel like, and that's just you can't have that in the postseason or in the play-in tournament, I guess. A version of the postseason, not the playoffs, but the Warriors will be there coming up next. The Warriors advance. They face the Houston Rockets, though, and that is going to be a formidable challenge. We'll talk about that next, as well as get into tonight's turning point and what you'll be talking about after tonight's game. All of that coming up next here on the Locked On Warriors postcast. Today's show is sponsored by Hungry Root. Spring is here and life is busier than ever. Between work, family, and everything in between, who has time for grocery shopping and meal prep? That's why I use Hungry Root. It makes eating healthy, delicious meals and simple. It makes them simple and stress-free. Hungry Root is like having your own personal shopper and nutritionist wrapped all up into one. They take care of grocery shopping and meal planning, offering personalized recommendations based on your taste and health goals. I love how Hungry Root tailors my orders based on what I like or don't love from before, and it gets smarter every time. With their high-quality, nutritious food, you can stick to your gut-friendly, high-protein diet without spending hours planning. The meals come together in 15 minutes or less. It gives you more time for whatever you want to do, workouts, spend time with your families, hobbies, watching Warriors games, anything that you need that extra time for. Hungry Root helps you get that time back. Take advantage of this exclusive deal. Get 40% off your first box plus a free item in every box for life. Go to hungryroot.com/LockedOnNBA and use code LockedOnNBA. That's hungryroot.com/LockedOnNBA, code LockedOnNBA for 40% off and a free lifetime item. Today's show is also sponsored by Open Phone. If you're running a business, you know that every missed call is money left on the table. Think about it. When was the last time you had an emergency, a service emergency? If the first person didn't answer, would you wait? Probably not. That's why you need Open Phone. Open Phone is the #1 business phone system designed to streamline and scale your customer communications all through an app on your phone or computer. I love that I don't need to carry 2 phones. With Open Phone, I can manage business calls and texts from just one app, whether I'm at my desk or on the go. My favorite feature, the shared inbox. Your team can jump into any conversation without missing a beat. And the AI call transcripts and summaries save you time on follow-ups and ensures you never lose track of customer interaction. Open Phone is offering our listeners on Locked On Warriors postcast 20% off your first 6 months at openphone.com/LockedOnNBA. That's openphone.com/LockedOnNBA. And if you're switching from another service, Open Phone will even port your existing numbers over at no extra charge. Open Phone, no missed calls, no missed customers. Welcome back to the Locked On Warriors postcast. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel, and tonight the Warriors survive and advance, and it was a matter of survival. They were getting mauled by these Memphis Grizzlies throughout that third quarter and into the fourth quarter. The Grizzlies actually took a lead in that fourth quarter before the Warriors were able to snatch it back, and it was they never really got separation in that one, but they did have Stephen Curry and, of course, the Dutch Master, my guy DG, the Dutch Master, Quentin Post helping out a lot in this one. My guy Kyle shouting out Oregon State legend GP2, and my guy DG also talking about play in Jimmy. And the Warriors tonight were just, they had just enough to get over the hump in this one. And it came down to the wire, but they had enough in the tank because of their superstar power. And that is what this team needs to lean on, obviously, going forward in the playoffs. It's very apparent who has to play well, and it's Steph and it's Jimmy, and Draymond has to contribute on the defensive end, be the playmaker that he is. You don't need the scoring from him, but you need like 1 or 2 other guys to pitch in and score some points. But Steph and Jimmy, they combined for over 70 points tonight. Like, these guys were so damn good. And that's, I think, what you can expect going forward. These guys, this is Jimmy's highest scoring night as a Warrior since he put on the Golden State uniform. But Steph has been doing this, man, and we know what to expect from him in the postseason. And I think that's going to continue as they march on forward in this postseason. But before we get into all that, let's talk about tonight's turning point.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
And the turning point for me in this one was when Steph started scoring in that fourth quarter, because for the first 6 minutes ish of that fourth quarter, the Warriors were, I mean, it was getting scary. It was getting sweaty. I thought the Warriors were going to have to go play Sacramento or Memphis on Thursday, or the Mavericks on Thursday. And maybe if they survived that, go play Oklahoma City in the first round, which I thought would just be an absolute death sentence for the Warriors. No way Oklahoma City is losing a first round matchup this year. But Steph, he made a bank shot with about 7:02 to play in this game, a 14-foot bank shot off a Draymond assist, and it pushed the Warriors lead from a 1-point lead to a 3-point lead. And from that point on, Steph just made it rain on the Grizzlies. He scored damn near every point from that point on in this game for the Warriors. The only other player to make a shot during that game was Gary Payton, made a layup. So from that point on for the Warriors, it was the Steph Curry show, or the Chef Curry show, but it was just, he was cooking one up tonight, and he wasn't going to be denied this win. He was absolutely carrying this team, and that's what you expect from Steph at this point in his career. But going forward, turning the page, looking at the Houston Rockets, I think that this team is going to pose a very, very, very tough task. I mean, I think that they're young and inexperienced, but they are so athletic and so long, and they can switch everything. They have so much youthful exuberance. I mean, they are the absolute foil to what the Warriors are. The Warriors, an older team, no two ways about it. They're a little bit slower than some of these other teams. The Rockets have the capability of absolutely running the Warriors out of the building. They can switch everything, and that might be a nightmare for Steph Curry, because he can't hunt good matchups to get open threes on. I mean, the way the Rockets play defense, it's a little helter-skelter, but it's organized chaos in the way that they run their defense, and it is hard to get open shots against them because of their length, because of their athleticism. But what the Warriors have that the Rockets don't is experience. And the Rockets, they obviously, this team does not have very much playoff experience at all. You got Dylan the Villain over there and Fred VanVleet to kind of guide the youngsters for the Houston Rockets. But this Warriors team, a lot of seasoned veterans who are battle tested. You got playoff Jimmy, you got Steph doing his thing, you got Draymond, who's been there with Steph the whole way. So the Warriors, what they lack in youthful exuberance, they make up for with their experience. Now, the first game of Houston and Golden State will be on Sunday on 4/20. Hey, shout out 4/20. Tip at 6:30. Then they will play again on Wednesday, and on April 23rd, they will play Saturday, Game 3 on April 26th, and they will play Monday, April 28th for Game 4. Now, the future games, Game 5, 6, and 7, we'll get to that if we need to, which I'm sure we'll need more than 4 games in this Houston Rockets Golden State Warriors series. But man, how many times are these two teams going to face each other in the playoffs? And how crazy is it that the Rockets have gone through a complete transformation? Like they went from the James Harden-led Rockets with him and Chris Paul and all those three-point shooting battles that they had with the Warriors with Mike D'Antoni as their head coach, to just falling out of the playoffs basically, and being a bottom feeder for a hot second here in the NBA before rebuilding and going right back up into the playoffs. Like, this is a completely different Rockets team than the Warriors have faced in the past. Like, zero of the old faces are there at this point, but that rivalry still feels kind of intense because you got Dylan Brooks over there. And every time I see Dylan Brooks on the NBA court, I just kind of want someone to run right through his chest, man. Like, I do not like Dylan Brooks at all. He's probably my least favorite player in the NBA at this point in time. I mean, I can't think of a single player that I despise more than Dylan Brooks in today's NBA. And I hope that Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors absolutely destroy him and the Houston Rockets. We'll see what happens. They're going to be a tough test. That Houston defense is no joke. But the Warriors get it done. They avoid any more games in the play-in tournament, which thank God, because they have been so bad in this play-in tournament. This is their first win in 4 tries, 0-3 in the play-in in Golden State Warriors history coming into tonight. They lost in 2021 to the Lakers, and they lost in 2021 to the Grizzlies, and they lost in 2024 to the Kings. So, I mean, the Warriors got the monkey off their back a little bit with the win tonight. Now you just got to focus on what's next, and that is the Houston Rockets. But for tonight, the Warriors can at least relish this win. They're going to the playoffs. They're the 7 seed. They did it. We're in the postseason, back where Steph should be. The trade for Jimmy, for as much as people were unsure about it, you cannot deny that this was a successful move by Mike Dunleavy, and you got to give the dude some credit. It's about all the time that we got for you guys tonight here on the Locked On Warriors postcast. Make sure you check out all of our postcasts throughout the postseason. We'll be coming to you live after every single one of these games. We won't miss any of them. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel. We'll see you next time. Peace.